I'm really worried about some of our bamboo. Not this bamboo, this is growing really well. I planted this area about a year ago and it has just taken off. But some of our bamboo is kind of struggling. And I want to show it to you and share some ideas that I have about why it might not be doing as well as this bamboo is. We planted it about a year ago in the dry season, so we gave it plenty of water. We made sure to water it every day and feed it and really look after it. And it's taken really well. It's really lush and green. I think we maybe lost a couple of pieces that we planted, but most of it's doing fine. The rice fields just over here, when it's rainy season, when it's wet, this piece of ground gets a lot of water. It's reasonably well drained, but it is wet all the time. And the soil quality here is quite good. It's pretty rocky. There's lots of small rocks and stones in it, but apart from that, it's pretty healthy soil. And I've kept it well mulched. I actually just looked at it now and realized that I need to give it another fresh batch of mulch on top. We've got plenty of rice straw, so I'll do that later today. But overall, I'm thrilled with the way this bamboo is growing, and already it's made a really nice covering for this bank, and as it grows a bit taller, it's going to put just a bit of a nice wall through here to separate the main house from our family house, which is just up here. So it'll give people a little bit more privacy when they're sitting on the porch there, and just look beautiful and sound beautiful when the wind blows, and I'm sure the birds will come in and love it too. But now I'll take you down the back to where I planted some other bamboo about a year and a half ago. Back here we've got the other bamboo I planted, which is a similar variety. It is quite thin. It'll only grow maybe 2.5 or 3 meters tall, and it's planted down here at the back of our section. I planted it about a year and a half ago, so about 5 or 6 months before the other bamboo that I've just shown you. But this hasn't done so well, as you can see. It's pretty skinny, it's pretty spindly, and I think the reasons for this are numerous. One, the time of the year we planted it was just kind of at the end of the rainy season, and the ground down here is pretty wet. So I just didn't give it as much water as it's probably needed. Also, the soil down here is terrible. It's about the worst in our whole section. This area here was leveled. We'd had it graded to fill in a pond that we had here that we didn't really want because we didn't have the water to sustain it and to keep the fish alive. So we thought we'd level the area, take the dirt from the sides and fill the pond in. And so that's left this area here with dirt that has been deep underground for many years, and there's just no life in it. There's no nutrients. There's no organic matter in it. Well, it's starting to come. We're doing plenty of work to try and include that and add as much organic matter as we can. But in the meantime, I need to be giving my bamboo some more food. I started feeding it again, well, quite a few months ago now, and it is now improving. It's showing signs of growth and is looking healthier than it was before. I need to keep the weeds down a bit more, but it is really starting to show signs of hope. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy to see that it is really looking like it's beginning to take root and grow on its own. And I think once it's established, it will just take off. So the coming rainy season, it's still a few months away, so we'll still have to keep watering it. But I think during the next rainy season, I'll start to see some really good development in this bamboo. And this is a cool little area down here. I've planted it in a bit of a spiral to create a room, like a meditation or prayer room, if you like. And so that when you're inside the room, you won't be able to see what's outside, and nobody will know that you're in there. This will create a really peaceful atmosphere just to sit and have some quiet time. So once the bamboo's grown and filled out, you'll be able to walk into the room and just relax and have a really peaceful, quiet time meditating or praying or just sitting reading a book. This is our main planting of bamboo down the southern edge of our driveway. We planted it about 6.5 years ago as we were building the house. We were given it. It was just a bunch of skinny single culms in potting bags that were ready to go into the ground. And the guy that gave them to us said, if you can use them, I'll deliver them for you for free because they need to be planted. So we just simply just popped them into the ground. It was during the rainy season, so they got well watered initially, but we didn't really have time to take care of them because we were busy building the house, and it just took off. There are a few gaps in the wall, but that'll fill in over time. Every growing season, every rainy season, they start to grow again, and it just spreads out little by little. It's a clumping bamboo, so it's not sending out runners, it's just staying fairly close to the original clumps. Some of them have grown better than others. I've got no idea why. Some of them are really big, fat pieces. Others are still kind of quite small and skinny, but it's all generally now, I think, around 20 to 25 meters tall. I'll be looking over the next few months before it starts raining for culms that are ready to be cut, because if I cut them at the end of the dry season, this is when all of the nutrients have been used up by the bamboo to keep itself alive during the dry season. And so all of the moisture, all of the sugars in the bamboo are depleted. If I cut it then, it's going to help it last longer because it's the sugars in the bamboo that the bugs are attracted to. So if I cut it at the end of the dry season and then treat it, it will mean that it will last longer and be stronger for a longer period of time. But I have been a bit concerned about it because it is so dry. Most of the leaves now are just on the ground and providing a good ground cover and fabulous for mulch. I found the easiest way to deal with it is just, especially on this driveway area, is just run the lawnmower up and down with the catcher on it and collect it like that. It chops it up a bit and just makes it a fabulous mulch for the garden. Then I just wander around the garden with the catcher from the lawnmower and deposit it where it's most needed. But there's so much of it all across on the other side of the section there. This is an empty section, it's a vacant piece of land, so there's no problem with it being there. But I will probably go over there and rake up a bunch of the leaves too, because it's so dense, it's so thick, and it will make fabulous compost and fabulous mulch. So I don't like letting it go to waste. But definitely at this time of the year, it's not so pretty to look at. It sounds nice as the wind blows and as the leaves fall down, they flutter down, and it does look quite pretty like that, but it's not nearly as lush and green as it is for most of the year. So for the next couple of months or so, it's going to be looking a bit sad, and I'll probably still be tempted to water it, but it doesn't actually need it because bamboo really looks after itself. There's a huge rhizome underneath each clump, and this holds the nutrients that it needs and provides it up the culms to the leaves, at least the ones that are staying on the plant. And then, as I said, it'll start to grow again in the rainy season. It'll be sending up new shoots for new culms, but it will also be sprouting new leaves. It won't grow any taller, but it will flesh out and fill out really, really nicely to become the beautiful shade and peaceful natural boundary wall for us. So there you go, there's an update on our 3 plantings of bamboo. I do have my eye on a couple of other places on our property that I want to plant some more, but that's going to take a little bit of preparation and a little bit of decision making as to what type of bamboo that we'll plant. I've also got some seed that I was given and some that I collected, so I'm going to try and grow some from seed. I have tried to sprout it already, but nothing came up, so I'm going to try a bit more on a slightly different process. I hope you've enjoyed learning a bit more about our bamboo, and if you're growing bamboo yourself, I hope you're encouraged to keep growing. And if you haven't planted any in your garden yet, do check it out because it's an absolutely fabulous plant to have in your garden. If you're in a temperate climate, be careful about the type of bamboo that you choose. We plant a clumping type of bamboo. I don't want running bamboo on my section because it does take a bit more care. But it's not impossible to care for. You've just got to look after it. And the clumping types are more naturally common here in the tropical climate that we live in. But if you are in a temperate climate and you're going to the garden centre to buy bamboo, do make sure that you know what type of bamboo that you're buying and plant it in an appropriate place and look after it in the right way so that it doesn't cause you problems. Again, thanks for joining us here at Suan Sook Homestay in our garden. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. And if you are interested to learn more about the bamboo that I've talked about in this video, I'll leave some links here for you to check those out. Cheers.